In this video, we will just try to enlighten ourselves about the most important equations, especially with respect to CFD, and those are called as governing equations. Now, you just check up any fluid on Earth, and the physics of that particular fluid is basically governed by these three equations which are written in front of you. The first equation is the mass is conserved equation, that is nothing but the continuity equation. Then we have the Newton's second law, which is nothing but force equals mass into acceleration, and this is basically called as momentum equation. And the third one is nothing but the energy is conserved, and this is nothing but the energy equation. So these are the three governing equations which basically speak the physics of the fluid that we are considering, right? So these three governing equations are pretty important. I request you to try to investigate about them, try to have at least theoretical understanding of what they are. Look, in this course, I will not be focusing on much equations because those equations will be pretty lengthy in CFD, and it is totally difficult for us to cover all those things in the course. So I will be focusing much on the application point of view, but in order to create you some basic or give you some basic information about what's happening in the background, I'm just trying to move in a sequential way. All right. So we will not be focusing on the equations which are being associated with this continuity equation or the differential and integral equation of the momentum equations and the energy equations as well. We'll just try to understand what are the physical things that are being happening. So these three equations are pretty important for us because all the fluids around us are basically governed with the help of these three governing equations. And as I mentioned, the physical aspects of any fluid flow are governed by these three fundamental equations. So try to Google about them. You have Google in your hands. Just try to type the mass conservation equation. That is nothing but the continuity equation. You will get a lot of material. Just try to read, spend some time on it, and try to gain what it is and basically representing. As we proceed with the course, we will also be understanding something about it, but if you just want to enhance your knowledge at this stage, you can just try to utilize other resources for understanding about them. Now let us move to the next slide. Now this is what is happening in CFD. Okay, like this is a simple process which I have just tabulated over here or created in the form of representation. Now what's happening is the governing equations which I've mentioned in the previous slide, those equations are present in the form of integral or partial differential forms. Now, if we want to analyze the fluid motion, if you want to see how the fluid is moving in some specific area, okay, what do we need to do is we need to solve this particular equations at that particular space, and solving of these equations will give us some kind of results that will help us to understand what is the behavior of fluid at that particular instance. Okay, I'm just trying to simplify my way of explaining. Just try to understand it. Okay, now what's happening is the governing equations which are present, the equations are present in integral and partial differential forms. And one more thing which I missed telling you over here, the first two equations combined together, that is nothing but the momentum equation and the continuity equation combined together are called as Navier-Stokes equations. All right, just remember this thing. Now what's happening is the governing equations what we have are present in integral or partial differential form, and there is a kind of property we can say for these equations. They are highly coupled. That means they have to be solved together, and they are non-linear, so we cannot solve them directly as well. Now what's happening is, since there are some properties which are not allowing us to solve directly, what are we doing is we are utilizing a program that is called as CFD. Clear? And CFD is doing some process internally. Right now we're not focused about that process, like what is happening in the CFD. We're just understanding what is CFD doing basically. Okay, so CFD is taking these equations in specific forms, and it is you can just imagine a manufacturing company where a raw material is being sent inside and something is produced from it, right, from the company. So what is happening is the governing equations or the integral form of equations or the partial differential equations are taken in any form with respect to the flow what we are solving, and then the CFD performs some operations on that, okay, to be specific in simple terms, and it converts these equations into discretized algebraic form of equations. Now algebraic equations we must have studied in mathematics, right? You remember your professor or your teacher or your uh, tutor used to give you some problems wherein you were given some algebraic equation and you were asked to solve those equations and give some values. So what kind of values did you give them? Have you given some numerical values? You must have given some numbers, isn't it? So that is what is happening over here. The CFD is converting these equations into discretized algebraic form of equations, and these equations are then solved by the program itself. It is solved by the solver itself, right? And these equations are solved in iterative manner, okay? And the result what we are getting from these equations when we are solving them is nothing but numbers. So I've just written over here, the equations are solved to obtain numbers for the flow values at discrete points in the space. So you consider a space where you have some fluid, and at each and every point in that particular space, the discretized equations are solved and they give you a number. That is what is the end product of a CFD solver. I mean, the CFD solver is giving you some numbers. Based on the numbers, we have to decide about the convergence. We have to decide whether the solution has been solved appropriately or no. As we proceed with the applications, when we are solving some cases, we will be understanding more easily. So do not worry about it if this is going above your head, okay? So that is what I'm just wanted to mention you at this moment, that the end product of CFD simulation is a collection of numbers. And as we are discussing about numbers, Mr. J.C. Maxwell has written that all the mathematical sciences are founded on relations between physical laws and the laws of numbers. So you can see over here, we are trying to solve a physical fluid which is moving. And what are we getting? We're getting some numbers. So there is a relation between the physical laws and the laws of numbers. So based on the numbers what we are getting, we are trying to judge, we are trying to understand, we are trying to solve a fluid motion basically. And let me just move to the next slide. Now, because of the presence of because of the need of these kind of programs that will help us to solve any fluid flow, right? Because of that purpose, the CFD has become a kind of strongest force that that has helped the the computer companies basically to develop supercomputers. This was one of the driving force, we can say, because if you don't have a need, then what is the requirement of creating a more configured computer, right? If you have a need, then you try to improve your performance of the computer so that you can deliver some work with it, right? So most of the CFD solutions are generally requiring the repetitive manipulation of many thousands, even millions of numbers. As I mentioned you that we are solving the discretized algebraic equations, we will be getting numbers with that equations, and those equations are continuously solved unless we achieve a respected target, okay? So those numbers in total may be in millions, right? And that is quite impossible for a human to solve. That is the reason we require a computer for us to do this task. So you can just imagine how our basic computer is helping us to solve such kind of flows and give us some information about the respected objective. Therefore, the advances in CFD are intimely related to the advancements in computers as well. So CFD and computers are directly proportional, we can say, as we are having the availability of more and more advanced computers, we are basically trying to achieve more and more realistic flow simulations as well. Let us move to the next slide. Now let us discuss something more about governing equations. As I mentioned to you that these equations are nothing but the governing equations that govern the laws of physics of any kind of flows, right? Or if we want to model or develop any fluid flow condition, then we genuinely require these kind of equations or these equations to solve, to give us some values, right? And all the CFD is based on these equations. It is important to feel comfortable with these equations. So we will be constantly repeating about continuity, momentum, energy equations. So you have to get comfortable. You just try to imagine that these are your friends from today. All right. Now the instructor, that is me. I'm assuming that you are from varied background. I really do not know which background you are from. You may be from some chemical background, or you may be from a mechanical background, maybe from aerospace, maybe from medical or any form, because the applications of CFD are tremendous. So maybe you are just taking this course to develop your CFD skills. So I'm just assuming that you may be familiar with these concepts or may not be familiar, but that is the reason I'm just trying to create a course in a very generalized fashion so that it is understandable by each and everyone, right? Now the governing equations that are present, those equations can be obtained in different forms, and for aerodynamic theories the forms make little differences. So as we are progressing, you'll understand about this. The governing equations, that is nothing but the three equations what we have. These are available in different forms. Okay, I will be utilizing the ANSYS manual and I'll be showing you what are the different forms of governing equations. But for a given algorithm in CFD, the use of equations in one form may lead to success, whereas the use in other form may lead to oscillations or even instabilities in numerical results. So the selection of the desired form of equation is very crucial in CFD solutions. For example, if you are trying to model a supersonic flow, then you require equations in one form. Whereas if you require a subsonic flow, that means a speed of fluid is pretty slow in that cases, then in that cases you might be having some other form of governing equations, right? And it depends on the application what we are performing. Maybe if you are trying to perform a ventilation study, maybe you just want to check up the indoor ventilation, how is the position of your inlet of the air conditioner is determining the flow in your room. In that particular cases, you have some other type of modeling techniques required. So the techniques what we are basically considering for one type of application may not be suitable for other type of application. All right, that is what I'm just trying to tell over here at this particular point, right? So the techniques what we follow for supersonic flow simulations, we cannot replicate or we cannot go with the same technique for the subsonic flow simulations as well. And the techniques what we are using for subsonic flow simulations, we cannot use that subsonic flow simulation technique or algorithm for the indoor ventilations, right? For each cases we will be having different techniques, and that we need to understand and work according to it, right? Now you might be wondering, how do I understand that technique? How will I know that this technique is suitable or these equations are desired for these cases? Well, to be honest, the answer is there is no proper source for us to understand all those things, but the only thing is you just have to research, because researching will only allow you to understand what is your problem. It will allow you to understand how do you solve also, how do you solve that particular problem. Now as we progress, I'll be showing you some techniques as well. As a beginner it will be very difficult if you are given a project to solve a supersonic flow over a wedge, for example. You might be confused as to what options should I utilize. In that cases, you just have to try to read papers, the publications which are already published, especially with regard to your field of application. You just try to read those papers, try to see whether they have used CFD, try to find papers which have used CFD actually, and especially the solver what you are using for your study. All right, now the example what I'm mentioning over here can be applicable or is analogous for other fields as well. For example, if you have a project which is dealing with the biodigester flows, then you must be looking for papers that have used CFD simulations in biodigester studies, and you must read their papers and you must see what are the different options or equations they have considered, because they will be writing about it obviously, used for modeling the particular application. So in that way you can understand how your preceding researchers are considering those equations for that cases. So after reading that, you'll be understanding, okay, fine, so this is what I have to consider, and you'll be a little bit clear as to what technique or what algorithm you need to consider for your case, right? Otherwise it will be like, you will be trying to search a small nut in a big swimming pool. It will be that difficult if you're not aware of it. So reading is what helps you. Try to read some articles, especially from good international journals, and try to seek, because those are good researchers and they have a lot of experience. They will try to do the things correctly, and those papers are not easily accepted as well. So if you're just reading those papers and developing a habit of understanding how they have modeled specific cases, then you can easily understand your algorithm as well. Otherwise your solution will be totally different. It will have instabilities and you may lead to divergence as well. Clear? So this is what I just want to focus over here. And therefore in the world, the final point is, therefore in the world of CFD, the various forms of equations are of vital interest. So it again depends on the application what you have, and that is the reason there are various forms of equations present, and one might be working with specific form, one might not be working with specific form. It depends on the application what you're dealing with. Clear? Now I'll stop over here. Let us move to the next video.